My name is Justen Johnson. I'm 35 years old. I've been in the program now, the Men of Fire program, for going on to about 8 or 9 months. Yeah, it just completely transformed my life. Yeah, so rewind the clock a little bit. Sure, a lot of guys have the similar story, but for me, I felt like I was just stuck in life. I felt like I had a purpose, I had this direction, but I didn't necessarily maybe think I had the tools or the processes to equip myself with that, right? And I struggled with finding community. For me in particular, we had just relocated to Texas from San Diego, and I didn't have necessarily friends or guys that were around me that were like-minded, that were motivated, that wanted to push themselves, that wanted to excel in their careers, it's just excel in life. And I fell into a cycle of, drinking with the neighbors and kind of going down that rabbit hole. And at the time, I was pushing upwards of almost 248 pounds, which was the heaviest I've ever been. And through that, I was just depressed. I was unhappy with myself, and unfortunately, I think I let that boil over into my family, how I was interacting with my wife, how I would interact with my kids. And in the moment, it's wrong. I shouldn't have shouted, I shouldn't have snapped at my wife, and that would eat at me because I feel like I didn't have control of who I was, and I definitely wasn't the man that I envisioned myself being, 15 years with my wife. And the boiling point was my wife approached me one evening and says, I don't even know who you are anymore. You're not the same Justen that I fell in love with, because I wasn't happy, I wasn't energetic, I was no longer outgoing, I retreated, I pulled myself away, and that broke me. It broke my heart, but in a good way, because not only did it break me, it really put into perspective how I am showing up. I think maybe I needed somebody to tell me direct that, hey, I need to get my shit together. That's kind of what started this. After that, I had to sit and realize, what do I need to do to fix the environment that I've created, right? Why am I stuck? And that's when I started reaching out and found Chris through Instagram. His messaging, it was genuine. He's another dad going through, or he went through, the same struggles that normal guys go through. And it was so relatable because you have these other influencers, the flashy cars and the money. Chris's flash, his flex, is his family, his wife, his kids, his career, and how he's transforming other men's lives. And I was like, man, I need to call this guy. I think I put it off for maybe a day or two, and decided to reach out to Chris, and thank God I made that call because it's completely transformed my life. Got in alignment with my purpose, had multiple conversations with Chris about what do I want out of life? What kind of example do I want to set for my kids? How am I going to show up as a husband? And it's through the framework that this program provided that elevated me to that person. And a lot of guys join this looking at it as like, oh, it's another fitness program, but that's just the small component of Rising Fathers. It's so much more than just a small component of a fitness program. It's a lifestyle change, essentially. And when I talk to other guys that are interested in joining the group, I don't even like referring to it as a program, because really it's a lifestyle change that we're making up until the day that we're put in our grave. How are we going to continue showing up as a father, as a husband? Are we going to treat this as a challenge where it's like, okay, now I'm done. What's the next thing? Being a father, being a husband, we don't have that option. We made that obligation to our kids and our wife to show up as the best version of ourselves. And through the tools, the brotherhood that this group provides, we elevate each other. Chris elevates us to be that man. The biggest thing I got from this retreat is the importance of brotherhood. I think as men, a lot of the times we self-isolate, right? We retreat to the cave, we go back, and that's when we fall into those old vices, that same pattern. And through this retreat, being able to connect with these guys over an application is amazing. The connections you're able to build and bond through that conversation, but meeting somebody in real person and sharing the deeper story of what everybody's struggling with has been so impactful. And again, it just solidifies that yes, we're all going through the same pains, the same struggles. But again, surrounding ourselves with like-minded men in this capacity in such an epic location, it's life-changing. It really opens your eyes to a different perspective of what is going on with other men and how you guys can work together to elevate, to work through those problems.